Hola, estudiantes. Welcome to our spring 2022 Spanish 112 asynchronous class. Me llamo Dr. Kevin Martillo Weiner y yo soy el profesor de esta clase. Bienvenidos a todos. So I'm going to do this video in English, so it's just easier to follow. And this is the first of a series of introductory videos to this class. So in this video, we will be going over the course Blackboard page and the syllabus only. So I will refer to other videos when it's appropriate. So as you know, in asynchronous class, I'm assuming you all know we actually never meet in person, unless of course we schedule a one-on-one office hour type talk, which is an option. So this class is largely run by you, okay? And we'll talk about the expectations as we go over the syllabus. So this right now I am in student view of the course Blackboard page. So you're going to want to get very familiar with this page. I'm assuming most of you are familiar with Blackboard at this point in your student career. So you understand like the to-do over here. We actually don't have any work on Blackboard with the exception of the discussion board, which I'll talk about soon. That's over here. But so you'll really never see anything to do over here. Okay, that is on a whole other website called the super site, which I'll also talk to in about a moment. So do your best to try to follow the cursor. I'll do this from time to time so that you can see where I'm at. So over here, looking on this tab, I've made this very minimal, so there's not a lot of links here. Okay, so you have your homepage, of course, which is where we are now. Announcements are very important. I haven't done any yet, but this is where I'll be posting links to the weekly lecture videos that are on YouTube that I made. So those will be here. And I always send that as an email as well. So whatever email you have registered in CUNY in Blackboard, that's the email that will be sent to. Okay, so you want to make sure that you know what email that is so you can check it regularly. But if you have any problems, you'll just need to, well, one, sort that out, and two, make sure you're checking on the announcements page regularly, okay? If you're not getting emails, because I'll be posting every single week of the semester there, something, a video or instructions or what have you. That's my main way to communicate with all of you. So this is the main way to communicate with all of you will be through announcements. Then if you have the syllabus tab, you can download it as a Word document. So I'll do that now. So if you click on that, you can see it downloads and you can open that. And we'll go over that in just a second. So we have that nice on our computer. I recommend you save that somewhere so you can access it. If you click on the course information, we're over here. This will just give you a quick breakdown of the class. So it tells you my name. You can refer to me as profe or profesor or Dr. Weiner in emails and things like that if you want, okay? Here's my email. This is the main, obviously in an asynchronous class, this is the main way to communicate with any instructor, your professor, through email. This tells you the schedule of course meeting time. So this is asynchronous, so we don't actually have any meeting times, but all of the work is always due every Sunday by 11:59 p.m. So just before midnight. So it's the beauty of an asynchronous class is you can do the work at your own speed and when you want. But the downside to that too is if you wait to do everything at the last minute, you're going to have an incredible amount of work to do, every week. So I recommend doing it bit by bit throughout the week, but all the assignments are done in weekly blocks, and I release them on Monday, and they're due on the following Sunday. So I'll talk a little bit more about that in the video on the super site. So make sure you go and watch that video next. In terms of office hours, we just do it by individual appointment via Zoom. So if you need to talk to me for whatever reason, you can send me an email and we'll decide on a time that works for us both. Of course, this is an asynchronous class. The delivery is asynchronous, and the syllabus is what we've already downloaded. Okay, so there's that. That's the course information. If we're back over here, there's a quick tab for my contact information. You have a not too recent photo. I guess this was about 2 years ago, but I still look, maybe 3 years ago, but I still pretty much look the same. This was pre-pandemic, so I may look a little older now, as we probably all do. So this is, again, my name, Dr. Kevin Martillo Viner, my email, which is very crucial, again, that we meet on Zoom. Now this link here called the super site, this is where all of the coursework will be done. So this is where all the tests are, the quizzes, the homework, and the final, and all that, and all the presentational materials, with the exception of the YouTube videos, which, as I already said, that'll be on the announcements. I'll post links there every week. So if this is a direct link, so if you click on it, it's going to take you to that page, and you'll need to log in. But again, you want to watch the video on how to set up your super site, which you'll see after this video. And then lastly, there's a discussion board. There's nothing there yet, but there will be a weekly question posted every day. And the idea here is this is your opportunity to use Spanish, because it will be in Spanish, but it'll be very simple. And it'll be just a way to sort of interact with me and other students. So I'll talk about that in a moment, actually right now, because we're going to go over the syllabus. And then, of course, you just have a few additional things over here: tools, help, and student support. Okay. So let's go back to the syllabus, which I already have open here. Let me make this nice and large. So please, you can you can just watch this video or read along however you want. This gives you all the course information. This tells you the semester, that it's an asynchronous class. Again, my name. This is the section number in case you need that at some point. We already talked about office hours, and my email again. Some of the stuff I'm going to skim over to make this video nice and short, so you should just read this on your own. So the course description objectives is fairly straightforward, so please read that on your own. The required text is just the supersite code. Okay, so you need supersite access. This can be a little confusing because on CUNY First, when it says required text, it gives you like 3 different things. All right, it gives you like different accesses and all this stuff. I recommend you just buy the 6-month access. It's the least expensive one, and the best place to buy it if you're paying out of pocket, as I explained here. So for all students that are paying out of pocket, you can just click on this link, and it will take you to where you need to set up an account. All right, so you have to, and this is all explained in the next video, which is how to set up your super site account. So I'm not going to do that now. It's a whole separate video, but that's where you will set that up. So let me go back to the syllabus. All right, so that's for any students paying out of pocket. Okay, so the super site code is the platform. The super site is the platform where we do all of the work. This is where you do all of your graded work for this class. So it's not optional at all. And if you have a book voucher, like if you're an ASAP student or any other student that's receiving any financial aid, and you get a book voucher, and you'll know if you have that, because you'll know what I'm talking about. You have to buy it. You can only buy it through the BCC bookstore Academos, and I supply you a link here, and you can do it. But again, you'll see several different options, and I'll explain this in the purchasing the super site. Purchasing and setting up the super site video, and which is the next video. I'll explain the options, but just to give you a quick overview, you can just buy the 6-month access one, because it's the least expensive, and it's all you need because you don't use it after Spanish 112. Okay, because this is an asynchronous class, you have to have, reliable technology. So you're going to have reliable internet that you can use, because all this stuff requires an internet, a computer or a tablet. A phone is not ideal, but if it's all you have to work with, and it can work, but it can be kind of glitchy with the super site. Just heads up, okay? So ideally a computer or a tablet, but if you only have a phone, that's fine. Also, your email is very important. Like I said, whatever email you use in CUNY First is the email that I will use, essentially. You do have to put an email when you set up your super site account, but I don't contact you through that, so you can just use whatever you want there. I'm going to skip over outcomes. You can read that on your own, please. The student responsibilities is straightforward. Again, you need the super site code, and that's where all the coursework will be done. Okay, here I talk a little bit more about asynchronous classes, which you I should know what it is. We don't meet over Zoom together as a class. So you're expected to do the work on your own. Questions and things of that nature can be either directed to me via email or within the super site directly, which again, I will discuss in the super site videos. I talk about the weekly YouTube videos. I'm sorry, so number 3 is the discussion board. So we can just look at this together. It says, in addition to the weekly YouTube videos, those are the video lectures that I'll be posting every week in the announcements. And the super site work. Students must respond to weekly discussion board posts on Blackboard in Spanish. So I already mentioned that earlier. So I'll post something of an open-ended question every week related to the subject under study. So whatever the chapter is that we're looking at, if it's on food or something, I might ask you, ¿cuál es tu comida favorita? Right? And you can respond, oh, mi comida favorita es la comida dominicana, or whatever, la comida puertorriqueña, me gusta mucho el arroz, or lo que sea. Right, so you would do that, and you also will respond to other students' comments or comment on another student's response. So the idea here is there's something of a dialogue that gets going. Like it says here, the idea is to create something of a dialogue with one another. So threads where multiple students are commenting are highly encouraged. Okay, so this is just a weekly thing. Should not take an incredible amount of time, 5 minutes, whatever. Read a few other students' responses, respond to them, etc. So the number 4 tells us, because practicing both listening comprehension and speaking is crucial to language acquisition, students are required to record themselves every chapter, either repeating words and or sentences to improve their pronunciation or verbally responding to question prompts in Spanish. These activities are on the super site, and all that is needed is a standard built-in microphone. So all computers, phones, and tablets have these. So it should be very straightforward. And these are always under the pronunciation bit, which again, when I go over in the next video, when I go over the super site, I'll highlight that. In terms of, study habits, especially because this is an asynchronous class, you have to formulate, you have to have some good habits here, because it's really on you to get the work done on time. All right, so also there's a language tutoring program that I will post about a couple weeks into the semester in which we have a schedule, and I highly recommend using the tutors. It's great. In terms of missed work, permission to make up tests or other missed work is at the professor's discretion. So, I'm pretty understanding, but I also have been at this for a long time, so I know when students are trying to take advantage of me. So please, just know that depending on your situation, I may or may not allow you to make something up. Okay, here's the evaluation of student work. We have the super site, which is just the homework is worth 15%. The weekly discussion board is 15%. This is of your entire grade, right? This is for the whole grade. Quizzes are worth 15%. There's a quiz for every chapter. There's a chapter test for every chapter. We go over a total of 5 chapters in Spanish 112. Okay, so there's a total of 5 chapter tests. That's worth 35%. And the final exam, which covers chapters 5 through 9, is worth 20%. That equals 100. So this gives you a little breakdown of each category. So the homework includes vocabulary and grammar from each chapter of the textbook. All homework and everything is on the super site. There's a 5% penalty per day for late work. So every day that you're late on something, you get a 5% reduction. Participation is, again, this is the only way that I can gauge that in asynchronous class is through the discussion board. Okay, so this is with you answering my questions directly and engaging with other students. So effort and content are what matter most in this category. So their spelling and things like that, I'm not going to be grading on that. It's more just that you tried. Okay, all discussion board threads are on the course Blackboard page. So really, there's the only two main sites for this class is the course Blackboard page and the super site. And the super site is really the primary one. Quizzes will cover vocabulary and grammar from each chapter. All quizzes are on the super site. Tests also cover vocabulary and grammar from each chapter, also on the super site. And then finally, the exam, which covers chapters 5 through 9, which includes vocabulary, grammar, reading and listening comprehension, speaking and writing. That's all on the super site. Okay, lastly, if you need accommodations or anything, all that information is here. If you have any sort of accommodations you need, they have to be documented and go through the disability services at BCC. So you can't just say that you have, you require extra help or something like that. You have to have it documented, and then they contact me, and it's a whole process. So please, all that information you need is here. In terms of your academic integrity, you pledging that you're doing your own work, you're not getting help, you're not having someone else do it for you. Trust me, I can tell if you're getting 100% on everything. I'm going to have some red flags, because and I'll go over this again in the super site video, but I can see how much time you spend on things and things like that. Okay, so there's ways to there's flags that they get triggered very easily, and also just not using translators, okay, for your stuff. The idea here is that you're learning some Spanish. And then lastly, you have the rough calendar. Again, as I'll discuss in the super site videos, the main calendar is there, but this is just, you can always refer to this to have a general idea. This is telling you when the YouTube link will be posted, when the work is due, and also the discussion board. Okay, so it tells you when all the stuff is posted and and when they're due by. Okay, and also over here it tells you what we're covering, and this goes all the way through the entire semester. So that is the syllabus. So I'm going to go ahead and close that and go back here. So I think we covered all of this stuff for now. This video ended up being a bit longer than I was anticipating, so we'll stop there. And thanks for watching. Be sure to watch the other videos in order on the introduction to this class.